Hello and welcome to the Cafe Nightly Show. I'm your host, the Goldsmith. It is the 4th of December, 2024, and we do have a few things to talk about, a few pieces of news in the week. And then again, we are into the beginning of Wonderland season, so we've had that get started. As I said, we're going to come back to that. But since we're in the beginning of Wonderland season, we kind of get to do a little bit of circle here for a couple things to look at for the rest of the month. But some big news. Big news, small news, community creator contest, but not by Upland. So we'll get into the details on that. It does highlight this idea finally of the full circle where Upland's been talking about UGC and the importance of UGC and wanting to be an ecosystem. Good to see a Hyde Park Ninja. It is something that where Upland has wanted to be a part of an ecosystem, to be a platform where people could do and expand and build their own businesses, build their own meta ventures, and have those meta ventures, be something that promotes their art, that they build the community to justify their existence. And we get to talk about this idea that if you want a property to be worth more than that property is worth, more than the mint price, more than the dividends justify, you have to put some work to it. And this is all going into all those themes. This one community creator contest is going into that one activity within one group, which is tied into all those themes. So I do want to talk about those themes tonight. Activity feed contest, get into that. That is a mention contest Upland put out, and it does highlight a new feature that Upland's put out in their in-game communication, the in-game activity feeds. And this is something that is really tying together this idea that Upland is trying to move a lot of the communication aspect of the game of Upland from a place like Discord, from people having Facebook groups, to bringing it in game and then encouraging people to use that social to know what's going on with other people, what they're doing in the game of Upland, but also to use that as a potential social gathering or the opportunity of following your favorite players there as well. And then, of course, there is one more thing that's also really important just to note. We did have a change log come through the game. We don't have a lot of change logs. Upland doesn't use that field very often. They do put things that change the game. They'll put notes out, put announcements out. Not very often they put things to the change log. Those are usually things that aren't major announcements, but they do change the overall gameplay of the way the game is set up. So we'll get into that as well. Before we get into all that, obviously, we do need to get the disclaimer out of the way. All views and opinions expressed by myself, they're mine and mine alone. They do not constitute game strategy or financial advice. They don't represent the game of Upland, the team of Upland. Any guests or contributors who we do have on, they have their own opinions. They should be respected as theirs and theirs alone. They don't represent the game of Upland, the team of Upland, myself, the Goldsmith, the Cafe of the show. They're not game strategy or financial advice. Again, and let's get into it. Let's get into it with looking at a couple of things. The first thing we want to look at is the announcement today that is really somebody else's announcement. Upland's putting it out, and it's really saying we are highlighting something that's going on for somebody who's not Upland, that is happening within Upland. This is the idea that a project can be in Layer 1 Upland and with some ties into Layer 2, but in Layer 1 Upland, development of building a certain area out, having the control to be able to do so, to have a unified building contract, or essentially building the structures in a certain way. The way you get there is you buy an entire neighborhood in ETH, and then you say, hey, we're going to have these custom structures in this neighborhood, and then people can buy the properties once those structures are available. So the structures can get built, and those properties can be sold, and people can use it as residences. The person who owns that neighborhood can build out a commercial district if they choose to do so, and maybe they even build and construct those commercial structures as well, and then those are for sale, and kind of building this planned community. And we've seen a couple planned community projects in the game of Upland already, but this is where that opportunity really comes in, the opportunity to really plan out a neighborhood, build the neighborhood out the way you want to, and then sell it to people who are probably going to be paying more than the mint price because you've built something into that neighborhood, and B, are hopefully going to bring something to that neighborhood. Maybe you are going to build the neighborhood out, trying to target a specific type of meta venture, and you're going to bring people in who want to be part of that community, or you are going to want to have some benefits to be in that neighborhood, whether there's a Layer 2 aspect you're going to build into a game, or you have some type of other social connection which you gain membership to by owning this property, using properties as gates, as a gated opportunity to be in this community or to experience whatever the layer 2 is. Maybe it's access to a cafe or a theater. Maybe there's something else that's built in there if you own a property in that neighborhood. But let's take a look at the announcement, this contest, and ultimately get into some more of the details about the neighborhood I'm talking about. Again, this announcement came out earlier today. I did have the pleasure of being told about this last week, and I was like, this is pretty cool. All the compliments in the world here that we talked about when these ETH sales were happening. I said, I really hope somebody does something with them. They don't just buy the properties and think they're going to sell them undeveloped, or buy the neighborhood and think they're going to make that 35% difference in what Upland says you get a 35% discount when you buy these neighborhoods, because Upland is pricing them with a dollar amount, assuming an UPEX value of the property at the 1,001. And we know they aren't really giving you that value, but the value comes in having the control and being able to build out the neighborhood and being able to sell for considerably more than what the calculated mint price would be into UPEX. Because again, you're paying in ETH with a equivalent USD value. That's what the assumption was, right? So let's get into the specifics here and how the value in this neighborhood is likely to be built out. A fantastic chance for UGC folks to get involved in a community contest surrounding some unique structures. Again, this is like building a structure or creating a structure for a specific city, except this is for a specific neighborhood. This is all courtesy of CryptoLand 21 and not run directly by Upland. Key is prizes are provided by CryptoLand 21, as well as this contest is technically administered outside of Upland. Upland's bringing information out to the community because, again, this is something that's targeted to the Upland community as a whole. This is a unique structure contest that will get your structures placed into Upland official. Again, one neighborhood, but officially into Upland, along with some really fantastic prizes. Again, Upland has run these building contests before, and in the past, they had some pretty significant prizes. They've kind of scaled that back a little bit. This is a little different. These are a little richer prize pool as far as what people are getting in return for having a winning design. Keep in mind, there's a decent amount of money or time or energy. I say money, but if you are equivalent your time to a compensation, a considerable amount of time that goes into creating these entries, and it may or may not win, but the prizes are there for those who do. There's Sparklet Bitcoin and properties in Queensbridge up for grabs, so get designing. Let's get into the details on this. Again, this is Queensbridge in Las Vegas. This was one of the neighborhoods that was for sale in ETH. You buy the neighborhood, you get to customize what the structures are. You get to decide how those properties are sold. You can either develop those properties and sell them. You can sell them all, or you can put them up and have other people have them for sale with you getting the proceeds. There's a lot of ways that could happen. There was that option Upland had even given of if you bought the neighborhood, you could turn them as open mint and then have people mint and you're the recipient of the mint. But again, this is more of a development. The specific details of when property is going to be for sale, that all comes secondary to what's going on here. But what's kind of interesting is, if you take a look, this is Crypto Bullseye Zone. If I take a look here, there is some decent information here on this contest, but then you'll see is this gives the opportunity, as Queensbridge is built out, to have the property listings done. This is an outside of Upland listing, so that this is a full monetized, full built community project in layer 1. Again, these are properties in layer 1, but really property development as opposed to someone just buying and flipping properties. And again, the planning, the developing is all part of that. So here's a contest. We get the contest overview. The Queen of Diamond Hands, again, that's the name of the community, is hosting a unique design contest to create exclusive structures for the Queensbridge Las Vegas neighborhood in the Upland metaverse. Again, Queensbridge, Las Vegas is the neighborhood name. The community, or what is being called, the development itself is being called the Queen of Diamond Hands. It's a residential design contest to create 2 unique structures for residential plots. Upland's talked about this. If you have that neighborhood, you can have your own designed structures that you specify in. And again, in this neighborhood, 2 are going to be approved. Designers are invited to create innovative structures blending Mediterranean and European-inspired architectural elegance with Web3, metaverse, and crypto themes. This unique fusion aims to resurrect Queensbridge's distinct style in the Upland metaverse, and as envisioned by the Queen of Diamond Hands. Residential properties will be available for sale after completion of the design contest. Again, all those properties are controlled by the owner of the neighborhood, and then they can sell those properties. And theoretically, if they're building out this community and they're building out either utility or they're building out a specific development plan, they can price things as they see fit, as they choose to do so. Submission requirements: residential design contest, residential design submissions. Target structures size should fit maximum number of property designs in Queensbridge, aka you can't make these. Ooh, why am I wearing a hat? Because my head was cold, cheese. My head was cold. Residential design contest, again, has to fit a maximum number of property sizes. That means you can't make a giant structure that's not going to fit the majority of the properties. Ha ha ha. That's been an issue with a lot of these other contests that Upland has held for building structures, is they choose, or what gets voted by the community is a structure that like 4% of the properties can actually house. In this case, they already had foreseen this as an issue. You do have to keep that in mind with your design. Architectural themes. Designers may choose any theme: Italian Tuscan, French, English, Spanish for each structure. Each designer must submit 2 designs. Name and meaning. Each structure must have a unique name. Provide a brief meaning or inspiration behind each name, reflecting the blend of architectural style and technological themes. A submission form is forthcoming. So we're going to have a submission form for you to use to submit. Please refer to the designer resources at the bottom of this document. So there's the judging process, so that we know there's a judging panel composed of the Queen of Diamond Hands Advisory Board and other OG Uplanders. The finalist selection, residential categories. Judges select 4 finalists. There's a total of 4 designs in the finals. Each finalist only gets one of their 2 designs included in the finals. There is first and a second place winner. Bypass condition of voting. If there are only 2 residential submissions, the judging phase is bypassed and all submissions proceed directly to the community. I would say make this easy. Submit something. Be competitive. Again, the prizes are significant. We'll take a look at them in just a minute. There's a total of 4 designs in the finals. Each finalist gets both of their 2 designs included in the finals. There is first and second prize winner. So 2 different conditions here. But let's take a look. Community voting blind process. So anonymity, designers' identities remain undisclosed during voting. This is something Upland has not done super well in the past. This is something being done outside of Upland. And maybe they're reflecting on this concept of, we've seen what's happened with other contests with voting. They vote on the designer, not on the design. Kind of gives that opportunity to have a design that people actually like the look of, and I'm looking forward to it. The voting platform has not yet been determined, so this is something that they're still working on. Look out for more details. The voting aspect is subject to Queen of Diamond Hands discretion and may be scrapped if it becomes too complex. Again, ultimately, they can decide what the structures are. The idea of having a voting process open to the public in any way, shape, or form is to get that input and potentially have something that the community is going to be interested in. Again, if they have trouble making it happen, I definitely understand the idea of bypassing, but wouldn't it be lovely to have that voting process? That way, the people who could be buying properties in have already had a chance to have their input and be happier with what the structures are overall before making that buying decision. The voting mechanics: voters rank each structure from first to fourth. Keep in mind, 4 structures. 2 of them are winners, first and second, third and fourth. They're nice. It's nice that people saw them. Maybe people will really like your work once your name is associated with it. But first and second are the ones who are winners. Aggregate scoring: top votes per designer determines the winner. Judging and voting criteria: design quality, creativity, originality, and aesthetic appeal. Thematic integration. So effective blending of the architectural style with Web3, metaverse, and crypto themes. Name and meaning: obviously, what's the uniqueness and how is that name relevant to what the structure is? Community engagement: voter rankings during the community and voting phase. So the winner determination: residential category. First place winner, designer with the highest total number of votes. Second place winner, designer with the second most number of votes. The prizes for the residential category: first place winner gets $500 in Bitcoin. They get a MetaVenture property in the commercial district of, again, Queensbridge. 50% off or 50% discount to Crypto Bullseye Pro membership. Again, build that community, build the organization. Why are you going to be a part of it, and what are you going to give people? That's kind of all the point here. 7,500 Sparklet. Again, I don't know what the mechanism of transferring that Sparklet is going to be, but 7,500 Sparklet, and then naming rights to that model inscribed in the model's description. Again, who made it and what it was, and they get to name their structure how they choose to. Second place winner from Queen of Diamond Hands, you get $300 in Bitcoin, MetaVenture property in the commercial district, 50% off discount for lifetime for Crypto Bullseye Pro membership, 4,500 Sparklet, and naming rights to the model. Again, first and second prize, obviously getting the most votes, going to get the biggest prize here, but this is stronger rewards than we've seen for some of the other contests in the game of Upland. It is something to take note of. Again, if you get third place, fourth place, or you don't get into the finals, keep in mind you put effort in, you worked on a project, the structure design is going to remain yours. It's just going to be something you're not going to get compensated for. General notes, rules, and regulations. Participation flexibility: designers can submit 2 residential designs. The same designer can't win first and second place. Designs must be original and not infringe on any copyrights. Designs must adhere to Upland's guidelines. Winning designs become exclusive property of the Queen of Diamond Hands neighborhood. Again, Queensbridge is a neighborhood in Upland. Queen of Diamond Hands is the name of the development. Incomplete submissions or those that are not adhering to the guidelines will be disqualified. The Las Vegas UGC contest winning structure, Spanish Luxus Villa, will also be the 3rd unique structure available in Queensbridge. So that is a structure that was already gone through the winning process in the game of Upland. The contest winners have to supply their own Bitcoin address to receive BDC prize, and Crypto Bullseye Inc. .zone and or Queen of Diamond Hands will not be responsible if you lose the Bitcoin after it is sent. Again, if you know anything about crypto wallets, you have to. Yes, Overwatch Goldie. We'll do Overwatch cheese in a little bit. If you know anything about crypto wallets, you have to be responsible for your own wallet. It is nobody else's fault if you give the wrong address and don't receive the crypto once it's sent your way. Queen of Diamond Hands is a Crypto Bullseye Zone experiment. Learn more about it here. We can jump in there in a second. The contest deadline. The contest did open on the 28th of November. The submission deadline is January 3rd, 2024. Judging phase, January 6th, 2024. And the voting phase does commence on January 13th, 2024. Again, judging phase is going to be in their internal decision with their board of how they want to choose the 4 finalists, and then there will be a voting afterwards. The winners are going to be announced on the 13th again, with the voting finalizing on the 13th of January. The winners announced that day. Designs available to build to be determined. You'll find out when they have a winner. For additional contact information, reach out to CryptoLand21 at Crypto Bullseye on Discord. Queen of Diamond Hands is available as a Discord community. You can get in there now. The website is cryptobullseye.zone/blog, and then obviously social media. Crypto Bullseye is the set here. They give you a little description of the example of what aggregate voting might look like, just so people know what to expect. The Queens of Las Vegas current architectural features and elements. This is the basis for the Queen of Diamond Hands unique structure design contest. The Queensbridge neighborhood is in Las Vegas, is renowned for its distinctive Mediterranean, European, and Spanish-inspired architectural styles. This affluent, guard-gated community often features houses that draw from French, Italian, Spanish, and English country designs. Here are some of the key characteristics of architectural styles you'll find in Queensbridge. So they break things down. They kind of give this idea that they want to have something that blends the real world, affluent, high-end structures in architecture and design with this concept of metaverse and Web3, and how do you tie those two together? And that blend is something that they're looking for here. So keep that in mind. Again, interpretations are up to the individuals, but you will have the opportunity to take a look and get a better idea. And yes, to make it easier for everybody, Las Vegas buildings drop-down menu with lower and upper ranges of UP2 per type of building. So it gives you an idea of the sizes of UP2, what tends to fit, the spark value, so you have some idea of what you're looking at. It's kind of as a proxy guide for your unique structure. When you look at build your unique structure, how does it fit in this host of other structures that are available to build in the game of Upland? They put this all together. This is their contest, not Upland's. The submission form will be up. I haven't seen it yet, but the submission form should be up shortly. So this is something that if you are interested in being part of, definitely get to work on it. There is the ability to reach out if you have future questions or additional questions. But we did say we were going to take a quick peek all the way back up and then all the way back down. If we can get back to it, I don't know if we will, to take a look at the overview of the plan and the plan and the construction and the development here overall. Which, like I said, I did want to talk about it as a overall theme, and that theme is that properties have the value that you bring to them. We have talked about or seen in Upland the idea of scarcity driving property value increases. Why is there a flip? Why is there a secondary sale in the first place? And the idea has historically been there's fewer properties available than there are people who want to buy them. Well, that's one reason for prices to go up. That's one reason for there to be a value in a flip. But the other reason for there to be a value in somebody buying a property secondary is because that property has been improved or developed, that the neighborhood that it sits in has some improvement or development, or there's some incentive or some benefit of having property in the neighborhood. And that's kind of what's going on here. Upland's Queensbridge, Las Vegas transformed. Launching as Queen of Diamonds Hands. Where did this come from? The neighborhood is Queensbridge, is a neighborhood. Queen of Diamonds is Las Vegas, casinos, card deck. That's an inspiration. So Diamond Hands is from crypto. Jesus, if my mouth was working. Crypto, you've got diamond hands. A triple nod resulting in the Queen of Diamond Hands, aka look at the fact that this is Vegas. Look at the fact that we're inside of the metaverse. And yes, this is crypto inspired. This was a neighborhood that was bought in ETH. Kind of all ties together, this idea of crypto in the metaverse. The Queen of Diamond Hands, the first Upland master development neighborhood, and Crypto Bullseye Zone, premier trusted crypto, Web3, and metaverse education site, are both launching on October 31st, 2024. the 16th anniversary Satoshi Bitcoin white paper. The Queen of Diamonds hands is a development experiment by Crypto Bullseye and thus the first anchor member. So the easiest way to look at it is you buy a neighborhood in ETH and Upland and you get to design it as you so fit. And the idea that they're building an advisory board, that there is a group of people who are involved. In addition to, again, you spend the ETH, now the neighborhood is yours, but building out a true neighborhood inside the game of Upland, having some connection to some value or community outside and after just selling the properties, that's a huge thing as well. The Queen of Diamond hands the idea of this brief, the brief of the development here. To get the vibe of Queen of Diamonds hands zone, you've got to know Queensbridge in real life. It's got all of the luxury, drama, and challenges. The real-world Queensbridge, an upscale enclave in Las Vegas, turned into a battleground for development and preservation. The closure of the famous Badlands golf course kicked off a huge multi-year legal battle, and the whole deal has made residents more super protective of their existing neighborhoods and the existing neighborhoods' character. So that's what they're trying to build, this idea of it's special. It's a special neighborhood. They want to have in a planned neighborhood. And again, looking very much so for that idea of a structure that fits the neighborhood, that fits the architectural style, and is going to really stand out and build the area. And again, if you want to go here review the neighborhood further, I will leave it at this. This is something that I would love to see more, where we have these master plan districts where you're going to take a neighborhood and you're going to buy it in ETH. And if you've done that, you have to think about how do you want that neighborhood to come back out into the world. And if it's going to come back into the world as some residential, 100% residential, what are you doing there? Why is it all residential? What's it going to be? If you're going to build it out as a neighborhood that's self-contained with benefits of ownership and a peer-to-peer support structure, owner-to-owner support structure, you're going to have some type of mix of meta ventures and residential. And in this case, they said there's a mix of residential, commercial, and industrial. When you're planning your neighborhood out that way, you have the potential of having some internal business with the knowledge and acknowledgement that in Upland there is some benefit of locality. There will continue to be benefit of locality moving forward. So it's nice to see that kind of all get built into the game. I'm gonna continue to see these neighborhoods pop up, and as they do, as these ETH neighborhoods start to establish themselves, I'm looking forward to seeing what other approaches other places take. This contest is open now. You have until the very beginning of January to get your submissions in. Go in, review, and ask questions you have to, but get those submissions in, UGC folks. These are better prizes than Upland generally gives out on these structure contests. Let's take a look at this other contest put out actually by Upland. This is activity feed tagging. It is here, and Miles is celebrating it with a tagging contest. Head on over to Miles's latest post in the activity feeds in the game of Upland. Tag your Upland bestie in the comments and tell us why they're your bestie. 10 random commenters will receive 10,000 UPX each. Again, when Upland runs these contests, this is essentially a flash contest. Something happened, new feature. They want to encourage you to acknowledge it or to use it. And this is a way of using the tag so A, you can do it, and B, everybody else knows that you can do it. There's a contest here to actually get it done. Go ahead, take a look, jump back into communications here, back into in-game. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Go into your in-game feed. Where are you? If we can find him, here he is, Mile B Chain, and then you can go here, comment, and you have to use the more cheese. Let's see if we can do it. Look at that. You can go there and you use the tag feature. You use a tag feature. You say that they're your bestie in the game. You say why, and then again, you're going to be entered for one of 10 people getting 10,000 UPX each. These continue to be new features to enhance and improve what's going on in the game of Upland, or why people are using the communication channels. Hopefully, we continue to see development here, but We have seen more usage and upticks. I want to see more of the general being things that are other than high. But there is some growth here in the communication channels and how it's used. The one thing I do want to put out there is continues to be a communication confusion for a lot of people, thinking that if we go into look at the channels, that the team is constantly monitoring channels, and that the team is constantly monitoring channels, and that is a direct communication channel to the team. And ultimately, Upland looks at many of these channels as being the community, peer-to-peer, the community working with the community. General is communities answering questions of the community, and then we just see a lot of new people coming in and asking questions, thinking that the team's going to immediately get an answer out to them. Otherwise, continue to see the growth here in the in-game channels and in the opportunity for people to have feeds and share with each other and see what other people that they're playing alongside are doing long term. Let's take a look at the change log and call it a night for tonight. We do start the Wonderland season. We have made some improvements to the cornering animation in racing. Now there'll be more aesthetically pleasing when you're burning rubber on the track. Yeah, that's been a complaint. It's been that weird skidding around the corner as opposed to being able to see a more fluid movement around the corner. That's been improved a little bit. I do want to look at the previous updates here because they kind of slipped through. We knew a couple of these, but important notes. The team doesn't use the changelog very often, but when they do, it's usually things that don't fit into announcements or don't slide into announcements. Aircrafts are movable between properties. This happened back just before Thanksgiving, but they require a property with a hangar on it for you to move it to that property. The sky has been changed. Again, this is in racing. From the spooky mode into the regular mode or into the regular sky from what the spooky mode was. The stuff after Halloween hung around for quite a while, and it took a while for that to get pulled out. There was a chat bug that improper number of messages being listed for how many messages you had. Remember that got pulled off, and they changed reference from blocks.io to eosflare.io, which is the correct linkage to where you can see the blocks data for Upland, because blocks.io, eosflare.io is now what's being used to highlight or for people to easily track what's going on for blockchain for Upland. For tonight, I will say thank you so much for being here. I do want to do two little notes. First of all, mark your calendars, 21st. We'll keep saying it. And until I give you a little more announcements, put out some of the flyers. But 21st of December, 6 p.m. PT, the Upland Extravaganza is going to be happening. The Upland Holiday Extravaganza that we do every year is going to be happening. It is going to be on YouTube and Twitter. Feel free to participate there. Prize winners will be on YouTube and Twitter, as well as prizes reserved specifically for those who do go to the theater. It is going to be Left House Theater in San Francisco, yes. And that is going to be where you want to be for some of the random giveaways that will not be available to those on YouTube and Twitter. But there's plenty of giveaways for YouTube and Twitter as well. Guests from the team will have a number of fun, hopefully fun panels along the way. I'll say hopefully. And then otherwise, it is going to be a good celebration of the end of the year. Sometimes we have a little bit of rollback and talk about the prior year in the game and maybe look forward a little bit as well. For tonight, thank you so much for being here Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. PT on Twitter, on YouTube, and in the Upland Cafe Still Voice Monday through Friday, with Tuesdays and Fridays available in the Upland Plaza in San Francisco at this time. Thank you so much. Do take care, and see you again tomorrow night. If you are in the Upland Cafe Discord, feel free to unmute your mics. The floor is yours.